Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. It's turkey time again. Turkey, gobble, gobble. So if you remember last year, we did the what's in the box on that diamond grade Winchester 410 load, the 3-inch, I think it was nickel plated 7.5s, and it did real well. So if you've gotten my data for the 410 data, if you got all of it, and or if you searched out the 3-inch, 3/4 ounce buffered load, that's what we're going to be putting together today. Because I thought to myself, look here, man, if they can do this with buffer or with nickel plated shot, no buffer, maybe we can come up with something that does as good, if not better. So I had this tested with nickel plated 6s. I didn't pattern it with nickel plated 6s because I don't think there's enough shot density. I just wanted to test it with that because nickel plated shot, whatever. But I did shoot it with just standard Magnum 7.5 shot, right? So standard Magnum 7.5 would replicate basically what kind of shot that most of us have or can get. So what we're going to do is get you on this side of the bench. We're going to put this load together and then go out to the farm and pattern it. So I patterned this through a TriStar Cobra pump. And I used 3 chokes because, again, we're trying to do turkey here with this thing. So I did the modified choke that came with the gun. And this gun only comes with 1 choke. It's an extended modified choke, and it actually does pretty well. And then I have a full choke, a factory, a TriStar flush full choke. And then I shot it with the TSS super full choke, right? That I've shot in other videos in the past. So the whole goal of this is to see what kind of pattern we can get with a buffered lead load. Is it viable to kill turkeys out to, say, 30 yards? Because I think probably the big thing here is if you load your own ammo, and if you don't, maybe this will push you in that direction. But if you load your own ammo, man, we can create some stuff that's pretty lethal compared to what you can go buy, and for a heck of a lot cheaper. And sometimes you can even load stuff that don't even exist, which there's a bunch of that stuff in my data, and other people's got data too. So hand loading, you really you have the upper hand on what you can put in your gun and put down range, trying to take whatever target you're after. So 30 yards is what we're shooting this at. I think that's a good range. And you look, most people that would use this load, these are probably folks that they're doing this kind of for the challenge. They're kind of in a point where their life where they're tired of shooting birds at 45, 50, maybe even 60 yards. They're more into the how close can I get him, and can we knock this joker down with some 7.5 shot at 20, 25 yards, and 30. So let's get you on the side of the bench and we'll go over the components. We'll put a few of these together and we'll go from there. All right, folks. So these are the components that we're going to be using for this load. We're going to be using Fiocchi holes, 3-inch holes, and actually once fired, which this would be a once fired right here, is the testing that I did with this. The Fiocchi holes. Claybuster, it's a WinAA 410 clone or SP 410. So it's the Claybuster clone wad. There you go. You can see that. I think I've used that in like just a straight 3/4 ounce video in the past. Okay. This particular load, and look, folks, I know this is like daggum gold, but 300 M&P, and actually, to maybe encourage some of you folks, you'll notice the price, $54.99. Okay, I found this recently, so I had some, but I saw a bottle, and I guess I'm just as guilty as anybody. I paid the price, right? But it's a 300 MMP powder is what this load calls for. BPI BSP buffer, you can see it right there. That's the buffer that's in this load. I have not tried it with any of the other buffer, just that buffer. And you'll see it's like a plastic granule, you know, I mean, this stuff is, it's almost like dust, right? But that's what you want in a buffer, okay? And then shot is, look, this is just Lawrence 7.5 Magnum shot, nothing special, okay? Now, I've got a couple of these already loaded up for YouTube purposes. Oh, and by the way, for the buffer, for the first time ever, well, I guess it's not the first time ever, but I'm introducing a power tool. I got that tip from a listener, not a listener, a viewer on the, I think it was one of the business videos, but I'm going to be running this for the buffer, and maybe I can, you know, maybe mute the sound as that's happening, because it is loud and it's annoying. But anyway, for YouTube purposes, I have a couple of these with the powder charge in. The wad is in this one, all right? And what we're looking for is 328 grains. And some people think, well, man, I don't even see a 328 grain load listed on any of the reloading sites, and you won't find many. I think Winchester has one for the AA hull, right? So there's 328. So we put this in here, and look, yes, there's not much room, all right? And you always have to tap this down a little bit, but this is where we're going to get our room. It helps out a lot. This is with the buffer, okay? Now, there's a certain amount of grainage of buffer that goes into this shot. Of course, it's in the data, and it doesn't take a bunch with a 410, you know. But we want to get enough in there that's going to get around the belly of that shot, and so we can keep that uniformity, right? So there's our buffer. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this buffer, and this is the best way that I found. Actually, I'm going to show you what I used to do. What I used to do is get that buffer kind of full right here, and then I would take him, and I'd put my finger over it, and I'd tap him real fast, right? And look, the buffer, it settles, right? I got to get my eyes on. So it does settle, right? And you can keep doing that, but let me tell you something. This little Dremel trick, and I'm sure there's even better ways, I can really fill this thing up, and then I can turn this Dremel tool on, and it just gobbles it right up, right? Hopefully I can get that to be quiet, because if you guys are wearing headphones or got this on in the living room, you'll probably have your better half screaming bejesus at you. I'm just going to tap this one. See how it doesn't really want to go when I'm tapping it? So now watch this. I hope we can see this. There you go, down in there. And also you can see how the shot settled down in there too. So now we go over here to the crimp. Get him going in the crimp. New hull, we've done this video before. All right, there you go. So let's put one more of these together. So I've got a hull here again. Now look here, one thing I want to tell you guys, when you put your wad in, whether it's fired or a new hull, get you a screwdriver, a punch or something, and really get that powder compressed, okay? That's the way I load pretty much all of these. Scale's a little wonky. All right, so 328. There we go. Okay. Put him in here. Again, we'll start just tamping down initially. That little Dremel really gets that shot to settle. So we'll get our buffer again measured out. Look, buffer is a pain in the butt really to put together, but man, is it effective for helping out patterns in lead and bismuth, I tell you. So we'll get that kind of full. He just eats it up. So if I had a table or something that I could set this on as I'm putting this in here, it would really speed things up. All right. Got that last little bit of buffer in there. Okay. Holding down for a couple of seconds, new hull as usual. There we go. All right. So that's the 3/4 ounce buffered lead 7.5. Let's go out and shoot these babies. Buffered 3/4 ounce standard 7.5 shot. Extended modified choke 40 yards or 30 yards. Buffered 3/4 ounce number 7.5 shot 30 yards factory full choke. Buffered 3-inch 410 7.5 shot super full TSS turkey choke 30 yards. All right, 30 yards, regular old 7.5 shot out of a 410. So this is that factory modified extended choke, and man, I'm telling you, it doesn't do that bad of a job. Pretty good core. There's a little openness here and there. There's 252 pellets on this pattern itself. There's 219 in the 30-inch circle. So this is a 30-inch circle. I hope y'all can see that. And this is a 20-inch circle, okay? I didn't do 10 because I don't have a 10-inch template. And for me, it doesn't really matter anyways, because I like to put buck snort behind it. So 144 inside a 20-inch circle. Not terribly bad. I have to go back and look at the XX Winchester load to see what it was putting out. But if we get Mr. Bucksnort out here, Bucksnort's getting in bad shape. We're going to have to get a new Bucksnort. If we get him behind here, Bucksnort's having a pretty bad day. Just, you know, it's a little light right in here. He's runned off right there, maybe right there, but look here. Right? So it's not a terrible pattern out of that factory modified choke. So anyway, let's take a look at factory full and see what that does. All right, so factory full, factory flush full, nothing special about this. This is basically the same full choke. If you have a TriStar Viper G2 410, this is the full choke that comes with it. If you have a Weatherby SA 410, do they even make a 410 in Weatherby? If you have a Mossberg 410, this is going to be the same choke that's in those guns. 240 pellets on the pattern. That's actually a little bit less than the modified. However, there's 211 inside the 30-inch circle and there's 146 inside the 20-inch circle. One thing that I noticed is it seems to be a bit more even. There is kind of a little splotch here, a little splotch there. But man, let me tell you something. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. Okay. Now, if we put buck snort back here, get him kind of in the middle, he's getting beat up pretty bad wherever we put him in there, right? All through there, he's got him in the neck, right there. But what do they call it? Jelly head? He got jelly head at a few spots in here. But anyway, not too bad. Not too bad. So let's see if that super full choke really does any dramatic effects here. Okay. Well, I think we have a winner. And this may answer our question, can you kill a turkey with a lead shot load that's buffered at 30 yards with a 410? Well, we've got 266 pellets on the whole entire board. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think there's many more pellets than that in this load. I think almost all of those pellets are spoken for right here. I'll have to double check my numbers, and when I go back to the bench, we'll verify that, but I think that we're pretty close at 266. There's 240 in this 30-inch circle, okay? 240. There's 160 inside the 20-inch circle. So there's 16 more inside the 20-inch circle than that standard full choke. Now, buck snort, this is disappointing. There is a little hole right here, a little gap, a little tiny gap, a little gap. But man, if you start looking at that 10-inch circle and everywhere else, buck snort's getting beat up pretty bad, right? I don't think that, you know, I mean, even if you missed his head right there, you're probably going to get something in the neck, right? And if you missed him over here, I'm not going to complain about that. I really think that that's pretty good. So let's go back to the bench and let's end this video. All right, folks, what y'all think about those patterns? I mean, it's interesting every time we do some of this stuff, how this stuff comes out. It's wild how that little extended modified choke that comes with a wildly inexpensive gun is very close to the full choke by the same branded gun. Of course, it's flush. And I think there's something to the extended choke thing, especially in 410 and 28 gauge. I've got a little skeet choke for that gun that's really good too for what it is. But when you get into full, and then the TSS choke does perform better. It seems like there's some splotchiness. And look, if you put this stuff together yourself, obviously the expense is low enough on this load that, man, you can load up 10 of them and you can shoot 10 of them through a certain choke at different yardages and count it out, see what it does. And then you can take those same holes, go back, load them up 10 more and shoot them out of a different choke or shoot different yardages that way. So you have a lot more options versus dumping 7/8 ounce of TSS or 5/8 ounce. I mean, you know, obviously we've got data for that stuff too, but man, look here, sometimes our pocketbook or our wallet, it don't agree with testing and patterning, you know, loads that cost $2 and $3 every time we touch the trigger off. So I think, you know, in areas where lead is still legal, which I'm sure it's pretty much everywhere except for California. I could be wrong about that. There might be like some wildlife management areas where they're requiring, you know, non-toxic shot. And then of course it would be a TSS thing. But anyway, I think it's pretty neat. I looked at the numbers. The pellet count on that last target, it literally is every pellet on that thing. For a Magnum shot, there's supposed to be like 264 pellets. There's 266 on there, so maybe I got 2 extra in one of the ones I put together. But they're all there. The buffer, I think, helps it out. If not getting it tighter, it helps keeping most of the shot together, which that's what happens when you don't have buffer, is you still have that core for the most part, but boy, it goes away quickly, and you lose a lot of stuff out of even the 30-inch circle. So 30-yard turkey load. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is what I'm going to shoot turkeys with this year, because I'll tell you, I'm not confident in getting one in at 20 yards. I'd probably have a heart attack before he got that close. Me and turkeys don't get along. I think I call too much. I told my buddy Nick that the other day, and I told him, you know, I said, them jokers can hear what you're thinking and they can see what's on your mind. So, but I like to hear them gobble. So when I get one gobbling, you know, man, I'll be calling and he'll be gobbling, and I'll be calling and he'll be gobbling. And well, I never get him in to where he needs to be. He's done playing with me at that point. So I need to shut up on the calls and try more of a grunt call with a deer type thing. So, but anyway, this would be a great load if you could find a way to get that buffer to go in there quicker. And I'm thinking about a table. I've been doing some research, and I'm thinking about some kind of table with some type of motor that's off balance and sitting on springs, and just brrr, and it needs to be small, so I can just, you know, set a shell on it and have it vibrating as I'm putting buffer in it. So I think that would be kind of neat to do, and there might be something out there like that. Of course, if there is, it's going to probably be $200 or $300. I don't want to pay that, but anyway. But I think this would, for some people, this would be a pretty good load. I did not pattern this in number 6 shot. I don't know if the shot density is going to be there for 6 shot. Obviously, it would be up close, but I mean, there's only 264 pellets in this load with 7.5. So I'm not sure how many would even be. Well, I'll just tell you right now, 3/4 ounces of 6 shot is 169 pellets. So with 3/4 ounces of number 6 shot is 169 pellets. Whew, you'd be hard pressed to get all of them in there, you know, the way the pattern looks. So it probably wouldn't have the density, right? So 7.5 would be it. And I think that 7.5 is viable to kill a turkey if you've got him in at 25, 30 yards. So that's the 410 3/4 ounce buffered load. Pretty neat. If y'all have ever used this, if you thought about using it, if you would use it on anything besides turkey, you know, would this be something that maybe a pheasant shooter, maybe with 169 pellets and number 6 shot? And by the way, folks, too, now here's the thing. This was not nickel-plated shot. This was standard, you know, Magnum shot that you can get, you know, Lawrence shot that you can go out and buy. I believe, and I may get a hold of some and try it, but I believe if we used 7.5 nickel-plated shot with buffer, I think we'd get even better result. And may need to do that, because that's what I tested it with, was buffered nickel number 6. So, but anyway, it was fun doing this one. Hopefully somebody out there puts it together and whacks them a turkey with it. And if you do, let me know about it. that'd be cool. I'll put it on the website. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. A lot of y'all that watch these videos, especially if you've watched it to this point, you're not a subscriber. So go ahead and subscribe. It'll show up in your feed whenever I have new videos and that kind of stuff. Hit the little bell, and it'll all be good. You know, for the algorithm is what YouTube has. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.